डीडी भारती के सभी दर्शकों को हार्दिक अभिनंदन। मैं डॉक्टर आभा यादव हूँ, one of the co-authors of this book, Right to Information Act, Concept, Procedure and Practice. It is my pleasure to give introduction about this book, which is being launched today by eminent actress, social activist Mrs. Shabana Azmi and Javed sahib, and the Justice of the Delhi High Court, Gita Mittal ji. और थोड़ा मैं कुछ मुझे बोलने को कहा गया है इस किताब के बारे में। काफ़ी सालों की मेहनत के बाद ये किताब वापस आई है, बाहर आई है। मेरे को-ऑथर हैं डॉक्टर दिवाकर गोयल और मैंने मिलकर के इस पर काफ़ी रिसर्च करी है, काफ़ी सालों हमने इस पर काम किया है। 2006 में इंडिया हैड प्रोमलगेटेड द राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट 2006 in October, in the month of October, and since then I think it has created a revolution for the common man. A lot of good things have come out of this act, and we have tried to give both the sides of the coin. We have tried to elucidate what this act is all about. We have tried to tell the reader what the genesis of the act is all about, how this act rose from the grassroots level, how right from the common man to the VIPs, everybody has benefited. Of course, public functionaries are also at the receiving end. That part also we have covered. This book has around 14 chapters and very succinct chapters. We have tried to cover all sections of the Act. What is the role of the appellate authority? What is the role of the PIOs, that is the public information officers? What is the role of the CIC, the information commissioners, etc.? How a common man can use this book to his advantage, and what are the usual questions which are asked, the frequently asked questions we have put in this book. काफ़ी सालों की मेहनत रही एक्चुअली, इतना कुछ हुआ कि हम उसमें ऐड करते गए एंड फाइनली वी हैव दिस प्रोडक्ट विद अस नाउ. I hope you enjoy this. I hope the readers benefit from this. Whatever suggestions there are, we are most welcome to those suggestions. हम चाहेंगे कि हमें ये suggestions मिलें ताकि हम इनको incorporate करें और इस किताब को बेहतर बनाएं. We want to come out with more editions. We want to come out with better editions. So my request आप सबसे, मेरी ये दिल की तमन्ना है मेरी कि आप सब ये किताब पढ़ें, इसे यूज़ करें, RTI को अपनी लाइफ में यूज़ करें.
We are privileged to be part of a book that is getting launched today, which is the Right to Information by Dr. Goel and Dr. Abha. It's a, as you know, this was something which was enacted in towards the end of 2005, and very powerful book which brings about overall transparency levels in the country. So we are thankful, and again we are very fortunate to be part of this launch today.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's congratulate our authors for the book, please. Ma'am, I would now request you to please enlighten us with your kind words.
I think one of the most powerful tools in a democracy is access. Access to information. It is the opaqueness of the system that keeps citizens from getting their rightful due. The right to information, to me, is the most definitive of them all in giving access and freedom to the citizen. This was done at the behest of the NAC, Aruna Roy, who has been a leading campaigner of the right to information, and for years in the background and at the grassroots level, she has had several Jan Sunwais where people themselves have demanded that they need to know how public funds are spent. So we all know that right to information is an act that is an important tool in our hands, but very few of us know what is the nitty-gritty and what is the detail. I would like to congratulate both Dr. Dewakar Goel and Dr. Abha Yadav for presenting in a very simple layman's form a book that I am delighted to hold in my hand, because I do think it is an empowerment tool that I have, because through this I know in very easy steps how exactly I can use the right to information. How this book came to be is an interesting story which I think I would like to tell. Basically, Dr. Dewakar Goel met Dr. Abha Yadav and they decided to write this book together. And then time went on and Dr. Abha Yadav got married and then she had a baby and somehow the book got stalled. Meanwhile, Dr. Dewakar Goel's wife, Sangeeta, who is with us here today, said to Dr. Dewakar Goel that आपने वादा किया था Dr. Abha Yadav से कि आप ये किताब उनके साथ co-author करेंगे and you will insist that it sees the light of day. And so दिवाकर जी said, लेकिन वो बहुत मसरूफ़ हैं, उनकी बहुत छोटी सी बेटी है, वो सब इन चीज़ों में मुब्तला हो गई हैं. तो संगीता ने कहा, मेरा घर आप लोगों के लिए खुला हुआ है, मैं बच्ची का ध्यान रखूंगी. She looked after the baby, provided endless cups of tea and inspiration. So thank you, Sangeeta, for doing this. This is really remarkable. I would like to congratulate the publishers and the authors for this very invaluable contribution. Thank you very much.
In 2015, it is extremely difficult to even imagine a time when a common man was barred from asking any information from the government, from any public authority. This was so till not very long ago. Entitlement to information as a right to know has been recognized across the world. The authors have very closely examined the interface at an international level of this right to know and the access to every forum and every right otherwise. They have pointed out that the existence of this right was for the first time has been found in history in Sweden. It dates back 200 years ago. And as of now, there are almost 40 countries which have recognized this right and provided legislations, which of course we are aware of. The Sunshine Act of the USA, New Zealand, and very open forums. Even the Soviets under Mikhail Gorbachev, at page 29 they note, have realized that the state does not claim monopoly of truth any longer. Glasnost has thus cast away the cloud of secrecy and stresses the priority of human values. India has followed the traditional British style of administration with legislation containing a provision for exemption from disclosure. Prior to the creation of the right to information, the statutory creation, we had the Official Secrets Act of 1923, which was used as the ruse, as a shield to prevent access to information of the citizenry. Equally so, the public servants would rely on the Civil Service Conduct Rules of 1964, which prohibited communication of an official document to anyone without authorization. This rule subsists even on date. And at the same time, we had Section 123 of the Indian Evidence Act, which prohibited giving of evidence from any published official records without the permission of the head of the department, and further enabled conversion of every issue of governance into a confidential matter. You didn't know when you will fall within the rigors of the Official Secrets Act. A crisis was thus felt by the citizenry in India because of lack of transparency at all in governance, leading to a clamor for information relating to governance. Entitlement to information was asserted as such a legal right which was legally enforceable. This book makes a novel attempt to explain the Right to Information Act through very illuminating case studies, formulation of problems, and suggests answers by and to both the applicants as well as the public information officers. The initiative is unique and certainly very sorely needed. I compliment and congratulate both these officers and authors for this unique contribution. At the same time, this publication is certainly a feather in the cap for the Universal Publishing House as they grow from strength to strength in publishing in legal fields. The authors support, and both of them argue, that unless absolutely essential, for instance, as under those acts which are covered under the Official Secrets Act, all and every information should be placed in the public domain. My congratulations to both the authors as well as Mr. Mohan Ramaswamy and his accomplished team for the same. I'm sure they will continue to write, and together with Sangeeta's help, and we will be together at several such book launches. Thank you.
I would now request the General Manager of CSOI to please welcome Javed Akhtarji.
Information is the right of an average citizen. Democracy for the people, of the people, by the people, cannot be a democracy without people having the right to information. Because that is the ultimate empowerment. And you see, governments may come and governments may go, but you can see that whether bureaucracy or the political fraternity, there is a kind of wariness about this law. And at every stage, right from the moment of its inception, there have been attempts, sometimes strong, sometimes feeble, to dilute it, make it weaker. There was resistance about the notes in the file and so on and so forth. What is there to hide? I mean, if it is people's government, why people should not have the right to know what is happening? And as a matter of fact, however conditioned so far this right of information is, you can see that it's brought certain fruits. It has exposed certain things which you and me would have never come to know. And that information has created a lot of side effects. As a matter of fact, it has its own domino effect on the political or social scene of the country. So the more said about it, the less it is, as a matter of fact, how important and how vital it is. Because it doesn't, democracy will not mean anything if we don't have information. If we have the choice to vote, if we have the choice to decide what is right or wrong, we should know the detail. Only then we can make right choices. We can rate right questions with the information. We question for the information, but once you get the information, only then you can raise right questions. So this is it. I'm sure that if recommendation is coming from such credible source about this book, then this book is a must read, and I'll definitely read it, and I'm sure that all those people who are sitting here, they will also do that. And I must congratulate Mr. Goel and Ms. Yadav for this effort. I know Mr. Goel since many years. He's a man of many facets. He is a bureaucrat, he is a poet, he is a political thinker, he is a management person. So sometimes I envy him that he has so many facets to his personality. So congratulations, Goel Sahib, and congratulations, Yadav ji. But he is a man in a great hurry. So I congratulate you, Ms. Yadav, that you somehow managed it. And people who know him would know what I'm saying. Because he wants to do everything yesterday. So this is it. Thank you very much. And so I have fulfilled the tradition and that requirement. Thank you.
पहली किताब शबाना जी के हाथों 1998 में रिलीज हुई, और एक वो सपना जो था वो आगे बढ़ता गया.
We started writing this book in the year 2006 and we completed in the year 2014. So he has been kind enough actually to wait for me through those milestones in my life, which Shabana ji very nicely elaborated. I had a baby, the baby was too small. He was shifted, he was posted, transferred to Chennai. Through all that, there was a point, of course, in time where we thought we would not be able to complete it. but as the forces would have it, as our loved ones would have it, and who encouraged us to continue with our endeavors, we are here in front of you. One thing that I'd like to share with you also is that शुरू में जब हमने किताब लिखनी शुरू करी थी, दिवाकर जी ने मुझे कहा था कि आभा तुम देखना, ये किताब जब रिलीज़ होगी ना बहुत सक्सेसफुल होगी, और रिलीज़ तो हम शबाना जी और जावेद जी से कराएंगे. एंड आई सेड या राइट, मतलब इतना भी फेंकने की क्या ज़रूरत है, लिख ही डालेंगे किताब, लेकिन इतना भी क्या. सो फॉर मी इट्स अ ड्रीम कम ट्रू, इट्स रियली अ ड्रीम कम ट्रू.
डीडी भारती आपकी नज़रों में?
अरे डीडी भारती की मैं क्या तारीफ़ करूं, तो पूरा देश जानता है, इसकी जो रीच है वो गांव-गांव में है और लोग देखते हैं. ये बड़ा सच्चे मानों में एक हिंदुस्तानी चैनल है, और जो आम इंसान है छोटे शहरों में, गांव में, हर आदमी आइडेंटिफाई करता है इससे.
This is Doordarshan Network, and you are watching DD Bharati.